Hey guys, it's Mike with an update to our character development videos from Startoon creator and Wildseed Studios creative director Jesse Cleverly. Okay, so the creators out there who are watching this, if you haven't yet watched our resource videos, our character development resource videos, go watch those first. That is the method, that is the thinking that should be going into your character development, okay? This very early stage of the talent show. Jesse knows his stuff, so go listen. Once you've seen all of those, come back and check this one out, because it goes pretty deep, talking about what they've been up to at Wildseed, the success of Counterfeit Cat, and how they've applied the same processes, the same ideas, the same approaches there that we're applying here in the Startoon talent show. It worked for Counterfeit Cat, and hopefully it's going to work for you guys too.
Hi, I'm Jesse Cleverly. I'm the creative director at Wildseed Studios. And the Startoon, as you all know, because you're watching this video, is going again. And we are just so excited about it, particularly because obviously last time we didn't know. We didn't know what kind of ideas we'd get. We didn't know what kind of creators we'd bump into, or the quality of the ideas and characters that they would create, or the level to which people would engage with the process. And obviously doing it a second time, a lot of those fears have been allayed, because the work that the Canadian creator community did on Startoon season 1 was extraordinary, and we ended up with a fantastic winner in the form of Sunny and Bentley, which I'm kind of pointing here because I think we'll put a little annotation so you can go and look at that video if you want now. But I think what I'd like to do now, probably not in too much detail, hopefully for you, is just talk about, what it was we really, saw last time, what the entries were that we all really admired, and, what the, and what the year really, I suppose, for us at Wildseed Studios has been like, not just working on Startoon and the winner of Startoon, but also in the studio that we have that makes animation for people such as Disney. So, first of all, in Startoon, I think, we were obviously, the reason we ran the competition in the first place was that, we get sent, at Wildseed Studios, we exist to sponsor and nurture the showrunners of the future, I suppose. And so we're very, very, focused on how do we get, particularly maybe less experienced creators, or emerging creators or younger creators, how do we get them to think in a way that is most likely to produce the result for them, and I guess for us, in the form of a show that we can sell and get commissioned. And I think that one of the mistakes, if you want to call it a mistake, that we see this level of creator making a lot, is that we will get ideas from people that are extremely sort of big and often quite clever, but we look and we often, I have to say sadly, struggle to find a character at the heart of the idea who we believe that the audience want to be or be with. In addition to that, we're also in a business where big, studios are very good at putting together pitch packages. They're very good at, creating these things which on paper look extremely credible and well constructed. I mean, these are extremely experienced and talented professional development executives doing the work. So, you'd think that, wouldn't you? But the problem there is that often, either because it's from a big experienced studio or because maybe it's from a less experienced individual, what you end up with, in our experience, are these extremely ambitious sometimes, which is a good thing, I guess, but complex universes, but without that really fantastic character that we think always ends up being the defining thing, which makes a huge hit in the long run. So we wanted to construct Startoon in such a way that from the very, very beginning, the creators that we were working with started from character, not from concept. I.e., they started with a character who they felt had amazing potential and, would have the heart and the funny to carry 52, 104, 156, episodes, 3 seasons of animation. So we believe that at the heart of everything is a great character. And not only do we believe that at the heart of everything great is a great character, we also believe that the shows that are built in that way all end up feeling very much like a projection of the sort of psyche of that character. So you end up feeling like, the show itself feels very centered creatively around this character, and very sort of built and very sort of unified and solid and kind of coherent, but they often also feel very simple in a good way. And there's that phrase, isn't there, when someone hands you a bit of work of, sorry it's so long, I didn't have time to do it shorter. Which I think means that, it is only really with time that you get to simplicity. And it's often the thing that hasn't quite had enough time that feels a bit more like it's got lots of moving parts and different bits and different things you need to remember. And, I forgot to tell you this. And actually a great show is often on the sort of elevator pitch, a very simple thing to pitch. As it is with the winner of this year, Sonny and Bentley, two friends, essentially, investigating the paranormal. So that's what we looked for the whole time, is a great character and a great character that was able to sustain and hold your attention and make you laugh and make you want to be or be with them from the beginning, without having to resort to a huge, massive, complicated setup and spaceships and explosions and plot devices and all the rest of it. So that's what we looked for the whole way through Startoon last year, was just that one central character who seems to generate a show all around them. And I guess, following on from that, it might be interesting for you to hear about some of the things we've been doing at Wildseed Studios, which is the production company based in the UK behind Startoon, and working with the Startoon Canada team, who are fantastic and extraordinary, by the way, to try and bring, what it was that we saw as being a possibility alive in this programme. So one of the things we've been very busy doing, led by our amazing director Ben Marceau and our amazing showrunner Sarah Mattingly, is Counterfeit Cat. Which I'm pointing to here again because we're going to have a little annotation, I'm sure, about where you can go and check that out on Disney XD's YouTube channel, or indeed on the hundreds of illegal copies that have now been apparently uploaded by the fans of the show. Thank you for that, everyone. Counterfeit Cat is a show about an agoraphobic house cat called Max, who gets to be the custodian of a very mischievous, irrepressible baby alien called Gark. And Gark has to obviously avoid detection on the part of the characters that surround Max and his life. And so he is dressed up in a rather badly fitting cat suit, hence the title Counterfeit Cat. And we've delivered those shows. They are on Disney XD in the UK and the US, and Teletoon in Canada, and nominated for a BAFTA. Beaten by Gumball, god damn it. But next year, because we didn't have all our episodes to enter. But we were amazingly pleased with that. We've also were nominated for an Annie Award for character design. Antoine and Raphael, our character and backgrounds team, did an amazing job on the show based on some designs by a young designer called Nick Edwards. So, it's been a really, really exciting time for us. And really, I think what we have learned is the fact that when you put a creator and a creative team at the heart of a show, and you back their vision and you protect them from those moments that inevitably come up in production when people aren't quite seeing it the same way, one broadcaster, the distributor, us, aren't all quite in sync. There is a real opportunity, I think, to unite around the creative vision of those two creative talents. And that's exactly what we've done on Counterfeit Cat. So that what that meant was that as an executive producer, as commissioning teams, what we all had to do, which I am so grateful to and impressed by all the partners in this production, including both Disney and Teletoon, obviously centrally, was people were, good to their word, and they backed off and let the creators of the show make the show they wanted to make. And that isn't the same as not having notes or comments or input, but it is, I think, different from basically using your creators like a glove puppet to do what you want. Rather than, really seeing them as the heart of the show. So we did that, Counterfeit Cat, 52 episodes on Disney and YouTube and Teletoon. And I'd love you to go and check it out, because it's a great example, I think, of the way in which an entire universe feels as if it comes from the psyche of a character, a lead character or a pairing, which is Max and Gark. And you just feel that show couldn't be the way it is without the characters that it has at its centre. And so for us, it's a very good illustration of where the process and the thinking that we propose for Startoon ends up if you get it all the way to production and out into the world. And it's one of those lovely things that, from our point of view, obviously there are peers in the industry, that's you guys, have all been incredibly complimentary about the show and love the show, but also the audience love the show. So, that is obviously the silver bullet, is to get your peers and your audience equally enthused about something, which I think is something we've managed to do with Counterfeit Cat. We'd love to know what you think. Go and check it out. Something else we've been up to, which we actually won a BAFTA for, is a short film called Lottie Bear Shout, which I'm pointing here because we're going to have an annotation because it's also on the Disney XD YouTube channel. And we made this as part of an XD initiative to make some short films for the European football, which was in the UK and Europe last year. Notice how I said the UK and Europe. God, it's starting already. In Europe last year, of which we are still a part, thankfully, for a bit. So we made it last year, and we made it with two young creators called Tom and Martin, who are collectively known as the Spin Kick Brothers, who we found in the Wildseed Studios incubator, and I'll be making another film about that in due course to explain to you how we work at Wildseed. But very, very briefly, Wildseed Studios makes multiple small investments of up to £10,000 into seeding new ideas from emerging creators. And Tom and Martin, who are the creators of the film we made for Disney called Good as Gold, starring a character called Lottie Bear Shout, came to our studio probably 3 years ago now, and they had 3 brilliant ideas on a memory stick, and we put some money into piloting them. They were adult ideas, and one of them was The Lone Wolves, which we ended up making 4 episodes of, and I'm pointing here because here's an annotation to Lone Wolves on the Wildseed Studios YouTube channel. But as a result of making Lone Wolves, not only do we love Lone Wolves, but we also love Tom and Martin. And we know something that is very important to know about creators, which is that they are workable, i.e. they are people who are going to be able to take it when the pressure's on, when there are differing opinions about the way forward, when people are sort of giving them notes, when things don't work and need to be remade. And that is a huge, huge thing, certainly for any broadcast organisation or any platform who's about to put money, proper big money, into a commission, is they have to know that the creators are workable. And but at the same time, of course, everybody is looking for that great, amazing, fresh new talent that they can help along their way, because they know that really and truly all the best ideas are the really groundbreaking ideas. The Adventure Times and the Gumballs of the future are going to come from the brains of amazing emerging talent. So everybody knows that they need to work with this talent, but the question is, how do they de-risk that talent when that talent hasn't been proved to be capable of withstanding the pressure of production? So one of the things that making the Lone Wolves showed everyone and demonstrated to everyone was that Tom and Martin had sort of what it takes to get through what is inevitably and rightly a very, very demanding process. So we picked up this idea that Tom and Martin had for Lottie Bear Shout, who's a rambunctious girl living on the edge of a forest, which it turns out contains a vast and ancient magical civilization, which she enters, and when there meets a Denzian called Hunter, who is a sort of Jedi in training kind of figure, who's one of the forest guardians, but useless at it. And I won't spoil it for you, because you really should go and check it out, because it's an extremely lovely piece of work by Tom and Martin. Very simple, which refers to my earlier point. Absolutely feels like the whole universe has come through Hunter and Lottie's and their relationship and their individual personalities. Very simple little story, beautifully told, lots of room for jokes, really importantly. And that's something that I should actually circle back on Counterfeit Cat. Is one of the brilliant things that Sarah and Ben have done on that show is keep the scripts really short. And the reason for that is that scripts will run long. Unless you write scripts short, they'll be long. And a long script inevitably has to be made to fit the duration of the show. So in this case, 11 minutes, 10 and a half minutes on the screen once you've had the credits. And when you've got a script that's basically running at 13 minutes and you have to cut it down to 11, the thing that you end up cutting is the things that you can do without from a plot point of view, i.e. often the jokes. So what you end up with is a very densely plotted thing, which somehow just lacks the, the comic energy that you want. So one of the lovely things that we've learned by working with Sarah and Ben is keep your scripts really short so that you don't end up cutting jokes. And in fact, in the case of Counterfeit Cat, what happened was that really short scripts, got sent to the storyboarding teams, so they could add stuff and still be on duration. So what we ended up with was very funny, very simply told often, very visually funny animatics, because they were created really in a partnership between Ben and Sarah, the heart of the creative team, heart of the show, the writer and the storyboarder in question. And obviously with Tom and Martin, it was just one short film, but a very similar process was engaged with, where we kept the script nice and short, lots of room to add jokes in the animatic stage, and the result is there for you to see. And once again, an illustration, I hope, of what I was saying at the beginning of this now rather long video, apologies, about, the simplicity that I think often marks anything great, from Apple software all the way through to a great show like Counterfeit Cat, and indeed the show that we believe Lottie Bearshot will become, because it is now in full series development with Disney. Okay, I'm going to put you out of your misery. Stop talking. I hope that's been useful and given you a bit of an insight into, some of the processes we've followed, some of the things we've been doing, and how that relates to what we know we're going to find and love to find in Startoon 2. So thanks for watching. Good luck, and talk to you soon, I hope. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, so if you liked all that, of course, we can send you guys over to check out what they do at Wildseed. That's wildseedstudios.com. They're on Facebook, all that kind of stuff as well. And please keep tuning back in here. Subscribe. We got more videos coming. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks, guys.